I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. So lot in this world you should know, and loving life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then loving life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And welcome to tonight's very special live stream. And it's lovely to have the Loving Life family participating in a live stream like we are tonight. And I'll tell you more about that. First off, please pray for Marlena, who is now at home and still very sick with a bad cough and sore chest. She is too tired to join us tonight. Is someone listening, or you know of someone who lives in the Krugersdorp area and has nursing experience, could you please contact me? With regards to Marlena, I want to extend a huge thank you to one of our regular performers, Calais van Deus, who is going out of her way to help Marlena. In fact, tonight, I'm announcing that Calais joins our very special list of channel heroes. Congratulations, Calais. Tonight we have a double banger. We will have Mark on first to talk about the exciting Superbrew competition, and then I'm inviting the Loving Life family to join us live as we talk about the old days. This is the days before television, pre-1976. The days of the Gunda Gunda and marbles and tops. Remember those spinning tops? And there was that yo-yo. Remember the yo-yo? Oh, jeez. And kites. Those were the days. Anyway, let me get back to this. We will have Mark on first with Rudy to talk about this Superbrew competition. And then, as I mentioned, I'm inviting anyone listening here today to join the Loving Life chat. And to do that, all you have to do is send me a Skype request to that name. And please do it near the end of the Superbrew, because I'll be getting little beeps happening the whole time if you do it during the discussion with Mark and Rudy. Okay, now let's continue. Superbrew will be run through the Loving Life TV platform. Superbrew is an international sports prediction competition, and let me show you the actual page that Rudy's put up for it, and I'll put the link in the side chat as well, so you can actually join and register and be part of the competition. And hey guys, I don't mind if there are only half a dozen people or less than 10 people participating, because that means more chance for me to win this amazing hamper that is going to the person with the most points. Here we are. Let's have a look at that hamper. Look at that. That's been donated by Mark, and it'll be flown anywhere in the world. And you'll notice that it's got my famous Pog Mahorn badge. You know, there, that in itself is a real collectible. Just saying. All right, let's get back to business here, shall we? Now, I've just got to push that over there, this over here, and here we go. Okay, Super Brew is an international sports prediction competition where millions of people around the globe take part in the fun of predicting sports score results for all sorts of sport. It is not gambling, and it is absolutely free. As a community, Loving Life TV will join in the fun, and Mark has actually created this Loving Life pool for our registered subscribers. The competition covers the British Irish Lions Tour tournament, which kicks off on Friday, the 3rd of July, 2021. There you go, guys. There you go. There, it's all happening. This is what we're talking about. The British Lions will play against the DHL Stormers, the Emirate Lions, Vodacom Bulls, and Cell C Sharks, and 3 games against the Springboks. This is great fun, and the friendly banter and rivalry between pool members vying for top spot will add a new dimension of inter-community involvement. Here is the link to join the team vying for the huge food hamper donated by Mark. I'll drop that into the side chat. There we go. There it is. You can do that right now, guys. You can join the competition. Okay, I'll get Mark and Rudy on so that they can take us through how you can participate in Super Brew. And please remember to subscribe to Loving Life on YouTube and register on LovingLifeTV.com, the platform we are moving to. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get these guys on now. Okay, here we go. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Scott.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Excellent, thank you. Excellent. I'm just going to get Rudy on, and then we'll be all set to go. I've actually got the Lions match in the background where the Boks played against the Lions, and I'm just trying to find the best spot for you, the little Skype, so we can actually have a watch of the game while we're actually talking. This is from last year. Okay, I'm just going to get Rudy on.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, now while we're just waiting for Rudy, Mark, let's get into what this is all about. In fact, there's Rudy now. Hi, Rudy. How are you, buddy?
How are you?
Excellent, thank you. Excellent.
Hi, Rudy.
Okay, I'm just going to go to speak of you. Right. Okay, now, Mark, let me put this question to you. How does this Super Brew game work, and how do you join? If possible, can you share some screens with us so you can take people through how to sign up?
Yeah, I think let's start off with what Super Brew is. It's a simple game on the internet, and what I mean by game, it's a prediction game. So you can do all kinds of predictions on it, different games. It does the Curry Cup, it does all of the others as well. But this one specifically that we've set up now is for the, like you said, the British Lions and the Springboks, and in the teams like the Bulls and so on. Now, it is very simple. You basically just make a prediction. Everybody puts their prediction in, and they say, let's say the Bulls and the British Lions are playing. Then you put your prediction in, and you say the Bulls will win by 5 points, which is normally the case because the Bulls is a very good team. you will find that when you make your decision, let's say I say it's by 5 points and Rudy says it's by 20 points, right? The
Right.
Bulls will win. The guy that's the closest will get an extra bonus point. So if you guess the right winning team, the team that's going to win, you get 1 point. And if you guess the closest to the actual score, in other words, by how much points which you will win, then you would actually get additional bonus point. So it's all about points and making points. And if you're within the five points range, so if let's say they scored 19, somebody had 16, that means they're within 5 points. They get a half a point. So you do get extra points for being close to the actual score. Okay, so you don't guess the actual score, you guess the team that's going to win and by how much, and that's easy. That's all it is. So every week you put your predictions in, yeah, Rudy and myself have been playing this game for a while. I think he's a little bit ahead of me, but he doesn't have as many trophies as I have. But,
Here we go. We're posting bragging already.
So maybe I've been playing this for a while.
Rudy, what do you say to that?
1,000 caps, Mark.
Yeah, I'm happy for the caps, but how many trophies have you won? So yeah, but we'll talk about that. We'll have a little banter. So it's all about the banter. Oh yeah, do you like my Irish jersey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. No.
Yeah.
Rudy, what do you have to say in response to Mark's words about all these trophies?
Well, you know, he can go and look up my profile on his pool and see how many trophies and first places and second places I've had over the years. And I'm going to dispute who's the winner here until I've looked myself.
Okay.
Well, this way, I'm leading Mark at the moment in the Rainbow Cup pool. So that should tell you something.
What do you say about that, Mark?
I give him that. I give him that because we've been playing the Rainbow Cup, yeah, Rudy has been in top of the game here, and I was actually impressed because these are also foreign teams. So Rudy is not too bad, I must say. I'll give him that.
Well,
he's got a chance.
There's a belated congratulations from Mark.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, do you have to give personal information when joining up to Super Brew?
No, it really is. It is not that personal. All you have to do is to give a email address where they can send you the just to remind you every now and again that you must actually do the pickings. And other than that, they might send you. They actually don't bother you that much, Super Brew. So that's good. And then you have to put a name there, but you can put any name in there. And what I would suggest for the people that's joining, maybe you should put in the name of the that you use on the chat, so that we know who you are. So if Charlotte joins, then Charlotte should put in Charlotte as a name there, so we know who is actually scoring what points. So that'll make it interesting for the banter.
Yeah. Now, just for the record, the fewer people who register, the better for me, because I'm an absolute noob at this. So I don't mind if people don't sign up, because gee, that hamper looks blimmin' good. I tell you what, that's a huge hamper, huge food hamper. And if you're not in on the game, there's no chance you can win the hamper. It's that simple. I've just put the link in the side chat so people can click on that, and from there they can actually go to the pool and join. Just for the record, I'm actually participating in this competition, and I'm looking at taking out Mark and Rudy and winning the hamper. What do you guys say about that?
That's a challenge. We accept the challenge.
Rudy?
Yeah, I accept the challenge, you know, but
you'll never live it down, will you, Rudy, if I beat you?
I'm not fearful of beginner's luck, Scott.
Okay. All right. Now, I guess on that very point, Mark, who can join this challenge?
Well, anybody can join. Really, it's open to anybody. But to be in line for the prize of the for the hamper, you need to be registered on the Loving Life TV site. So you need to be a member on the site. That's the only request that we have.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's excellent. Now look, I saw there was something about a yellow cap that goes next to your profile if you're the closest to something like that. How does that work?
Well, every week as they play the games, somebody that scores the most points, they would get the yellow cap, and it looks like this. So this is part of the hamper. So
you've even won the real yellow cap. You've got the thing in your hand.
This is the real yellow cap. So that's part of the hamper, which we will send as well. So that, but this is this one is for somebody that wins the overall the game. Well, every week there will be somebody that will get a yellow cap just for that week. But that yellow cap is just on the game itself, on the challenge itself. So you will see you get a little yellow cap, or you get a wooden spoon. If you get the wooden spoon, you got the worst one. Okay, so you're going to get the wooden spoon.
So you don't want wooden spoons.
No.
Oh, gee. Okay. No. I got it. No. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put up this page that Rudy put up and just explain to people how easy it is to sign up. Okay, guys. So there's the actual link in the side chat, and I'm now actually going to show the actual page. Okay, there's the page that you'll go to when you take that link. And if we go to the top, you'll see it says Super Brew.
We don't see anything.
Oh, no, you won't see it, but everybody else will.
Okay.
It's just that page that. Hang on, let me. It's there. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so it's headed up Super Brew British and Irish Lions Tour Score Prediction Fun, and basically, as Mark outlined, you just got to say how many points the Springboks will win by, or the Lions will win by, for each game. And you'll see that Rudy has outlined what it's all about. They're the actual games that have been played from the 1st of July this year. Here are the pool details. Now, to actually join the pool, all you got to do is click on the link under pool name. And when you click on there, it takes you directly to the Loving Life TV community channel, and on there you can then register. You can see I'm in there. You can see we've got a bunch of people already in here. Oh my gosh, a couple of people have joined since Mel's just joined. Now this is going to be even more tricky. We shouldn't be promoting this, you know, Mark, because if we get 20 people in here, I've got no chance of winning. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think we need to add another incentive into this for the Loving Life TV. I think what we might do, Rudy, I think what we might do is have a Super Brew Hall of Fame. And whoever wins this competition becomes the first person to have their name in the Super Brew Hall of Fame page on Loving Life TV. What do you think of that?
I think that's a brilliant idea, Scott. You know, on Super Brew itself, you've got these caps and awards and whatever. But what we're trying to do with this page that we've got up for Super Brew is to have healthy banter before and after every game. You know, and not to say what your predictions were and whatever, but afterwards say, yeah, I got the yellow cap for this round and whatever, you know, and to make fun of the person with a wooden spoon and so on. So it's a very nice page where we can really have fun with one another on the website. One can comment on Super Brew itself as well, but we would suggest, Mark and myself, that we keep our comments on the actual Super Brew page that you're showing now to the people.
Yeah.
The comments below and so on, and there we can have healthy fun and take one another out.
Excellent. Now, Mark, can you
Yes.
win anything in this challenge, and who is entitled to
Oh, yeah.
receive the prizes? Well, we know there's that hamper. Can you tell us exactly what is in the hamper so people have
I
an
will.
idea?
I will do that, but I'm going to ask somebody to assist me in that. Mel will assist me in that.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
How are you,
Mel.
Scott? How are you, Scott?
Excellent, thank you. How are you? Where are you? I can't see you, Mel.
Mel, where are you?
I'm here.
Hey, there you are. To wave at the Loving Life family. Come on.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Good to
How
see
you
you.
doing?
Good to see you. Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Mel, tell us about this hamper.
This hamper, Scott, has got a couple of things in, but first of all, here's the Irish flag.
It looks like the South African flag.
So this is for a bar.
Yeah.
You can put this up in a bar.
Oh, wow. This is part of the hamper. Wow, this is fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
And I see Michelle asked about the whiskey fudge. There it is.
Is that alcoholic?
It is.
I can see Rudy's going to be really working to win this one.
Have they got a tin of Irish condensed milk in there or something?
Have you got Irish condensed milk in there as well?
Yeah, yeah. And just some shortbread, real Irish shortbread.
Oh, yummy. Shortbread sheep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and remember, all of this is made with the best milk and everything and butter that you can get, because Irish butter,
Yeah.
the best in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, Kerry Gold, the
Wow.
best.
Okay, fantastic. And you got
And then we have some chocolates just to sweeten it up a little bit.
Oh, yummy.
And then we have probably the main prize is the wallet. Okay, so this wallet is real leather.
Oh, wow.
And it is, you can't buy it anywhere else. You can only buy this in Ireland. So it's a Guinness wallet.
I need a new wallet. Okay, I'm going to win that. Okay.
Is there anything in there? Oh, yeah, wait. Here's a tenner. Here's a tenner inside there. A tenner, which is 10 euros.
Wow,
That just comes
that's about 250 rand.
Yep. It's not much, yeah, but yeah, probably that side's to be more.
It's a lot.
It comes with the tenner.
Fantastic.
So-
That is amazing.
And then you can give this to your girlfriend.
Love it.
So I assume, and this is only assumption, I assume that a man is going to win this, the first prize, right?
Well, I can see Rudy wanting to be on the Hall of Fame, so I think that I think Rudy's going to be playing his heart out.
So
Scott,
because
my
I
question
assume
to
that,
you,
yeah,
Scott, my question to you is: have you got anything to put in that wallet?
Have I? Thanks, buddy.
it's got a tenner. It's already a tenner in, no more. And then obviously Scott's favorite. This is a bumper sticker.
Oh, I thought it was the little badge.
No, this is a bumper sticker.
Oh, because I've got the look, that is I gotta have that.
Okay. So you can put that on
I
the
have
car.
the little one.
Know what you are saying? They will think the kiss means something nice, but it's not. Okay. So, on me.
Kiss my ass, that's what it means.
Now, because we assume that somebody that's going to win this wallet will be a man, we have a special prize for the first lady. So the lady that comes first get a bigger.
Wow.
Kitty.
I think there's only one lady in the game yet at this stage.
Yeah, but that's going to change. Alta and Charlotte is coming soon.
Okay, cool. Oh, well,
Then
look.
we have some chocolates for them as well. These butlers are great chocolates.
Oh,
great,
wow.
great.
Look at this, guys. This is amazing. I think I'm going to have a sex change. I'll have more chance of winning then.
And then they get
I'm only joking.
This little hangertjie thingy here,
Oh, love it.
which is you can see on it there. It's a shamrock.
Wow. Okay,
Now
cool.
the shamrock. I just want to show you what the shamrock looks like. This is a real shamrock. I picked it up just now. So if you can see it there, this is a shamrock.
Wow.
The difference between a clover and the shamrock is the clover's got 4 leaves. The shamrock has only got 3. So this is a real shamrock. It just grows all over the place here outside in Ireland.
Fantastic.
So that's a shamrock,
Okay.
a real shamrock. Yeah. So anyway, so that's for the ladies. So the first lady will get that prize. Okay.
Great.
So there's 2 sets of prizes.
Absolutely great. All right,
Okay.
that's fantastic. Now, Rudy, you've been very quiet in the background there.
I have.
What do you have to say about all this?
Well, I think I must address something which I see pops up in the side chat tonight, and that is that unfortunately this BLM movement has made a lot of trouble for all sorts of sport in the world. And my message to the people that are now anti-rugby or anti-Springboks or whatever, you've got all the right in the world to be angry at BLM and also to be angry at those rugby players who took the knee in support of BLM. But my message is, don't blame the sport, blame the knee bender. And the majority of our Springbok team, the majority of our provincial teams like the Bulls and the Stormers and the Sharks players refuse to bend the knee. So I still fully support rugby union. But I have my gripes against people like Sia Kolisi who took the knee. So people join up. It's all about the fun. And even if you don't support rugby that harshly anymore, support Loving Life and join in the fun. This is what it's all about. It's friendly rivalry and fun. All that you have to do is get your predictions in. You don't even need to watch the games. Just get your predictions in and join in the banter and the fun.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm looking at the game that we've got playing in the background here. And the Springboks are whipping the backsides off the Lions in this game that's playing. So that's a good omen for the way I'm going to be voting when it comes to this competition for each game.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult with the other games. Bulls.
Lions tours are difficult. The last 2 Lions tours, the one to Australia and then the one to New Zealand, the All Blacks and the Wallabies didn't have their own. I think if I'm correct, Mark, you can just bear me out here. The Lions beat the Wallabies in Australia over the series, and then in New Zealand, I think it was either a draw or they won there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So one never has to underestimate the British and Irish Lions. Remember, they are a squad put together from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So they have basically they can choose out of about 90 international players, whereas South Africa, the Springboks, can choose only out of our provinces. So the Lions tours over the years have been very hard to navigate. The Springboks are still on the winning side as far as the amounts of series are concerned. But one can never forget, for instance, the first test I ever saw in my life was at Loftus Versfeld in 1974 with the famous British Lions of Willie John McBride. And that 1974 British and Irish or British Lions squad beat South Africa hands down. It was a famous squad. It was history. And so never underestimate the Lions. They are a very, very strong bunch, and they've got a very astute coach with them and so on. So it's going to be tough going. And the difficult part this time around is there's no crowd to fire the Springboks on, or to fire the Lions on. It'll be played in empty stadiums, unfortunately. So it's a difficult one to predict this time around.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating, and I think the sort of friendly rivalry is going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Now, Mark, you're going to be. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Oh, look, I have got a question from you. Jack says, can we see each other's predictions?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, everybody will make their predictions. Before the game, you can't see the other people's predictions, except if you lock your picks. So let's say you make a pick for this coming weekend. You've already made your pick. You can't see the other people's picks yet, but if you go and lock your picks, you can automatically then see the other people, because you can't change it after that. Once you've locked it, you can't change your picks. So that's the reason for that, so that you don't look at other people's picks and then change your picks because of that. So once you've locked your picks, you can see exactly what the other people has picked, or you can wait until the game starts, and then the picks will be available, because you can't change it anymore.
Okay, there you go. There's your answer, guys. Now, I just want to respond to a comment in the side chat, and this is from Nat. And just remember, guys, that we have this amazing forum that Nat has put together, and it includes all sorts of stuff. Please go and check it out. It's really exciting, and we are going to transition that forum into the main LovingLifeTV.com website, so that once you've registered with Loving Life, you can automatically go onto the forum and participate there as well. So it's just another arm to the platform that we have here. And what we maybe need to do, Rudy, is to have a Super Brew forum page, but I'll leave you to talk to Nat about that. Okay, so anything else that you'd like to raise about Super Brew, Mark?
No, I just want to make one comment. But what I said earlier is that I think a man is going to win this competition. I think I retract that, because this lady over here has whipped my ass in Super Brew.
Oh no, is she playing as well?
Mel is also playing, and she can play a serious game.
Oh my gosh.
She sits and works up. She knows more about the players than I do. That's wrong.
I don't think those hampers are going to be leaving your house.
No, sorry, she's not. She can't win it. So I'm sorry for her.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Look, I think I've got to have a sex change. I think Rudy's going to win the men's one. All right, guys. Look, I'm going to now while Rudy is summing up the Super Brew side, and perhaps you can just talk about how it works on the Loving Life website, Rudy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask people who'd like to join our family chat live on Skype, please to send me a Skype request now. I'll type my and Dan, I see you here. I'm going to invite you in, so I hope that you're ready for an invitation. Here's my Skype contact, and the discussion tonight is about pre-1976 South Africa. In other words, before television came on. And Fiona Timms is going to be joining us. I can tell you that, of course, Rudy and Mark, who are both on at the moment, are going to be joining us. So is Muslian, and hopefully Dan. And Nat, you need to join us as well. And I think Charlotte, but Charlotte hasn't sent me a contact request. Now, please, guys, send me your contact request now, so that I can actually join you in to the live chat. Now, Rudy, over to you. Please go ahead and tell us about Super Brew on LLTV, Loving Life TV.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and then just go to our Super Brew page. Can you see my screen?
Not yet,
Scott?
no.
Yeah, we can see ourselves.
Not yet, Rudy.
then I've shared the the wrong screen. Let me just share this.
Now I see it.
All right. Can you see the actual screen? Okay. So,
but I see Loving Life on top with the. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
All right. Basically, on the menu at the top, you'll see on the extreme right-hand side, there's our Super Brew page, and if I click on it, it takes you into the page. And where we want the banter to happen is right at the bottom, just like under any video. At the bottom there are comments, and that's where we want the people to banter and take one another on during this this eight match series. So for instance, on the website I'm Rudy Geldnys, but in Super Brew I've been playing since I think 2007. There my handle is Groot Blou Smile. Now, Groot Blou Smile comes from the fact that I'm a Blue Bulls supporter, and in 2007, as you guys all know, the Bulls won the Super Rugby tournament, and that created a massive smile on my face. So I became Groot Blou Smile, and I've been taking part as Groot Blou Smile all these years. So in Super Brew itself, there's a comment section, but we would really like you guys to leave your comments here in the comment section of the actual page that where we will have our competition and so on. Also, the other thing is, if you go to this page regularly and you click on the pool link, you very easily go to the pool. It takes you straight to that Super Brew pool, or to your login at Super Brew. Stay logged in there, and then from there you can very easily make your predictions and so on. So you don't even need to wait for the email notifications that Super Brew sends out to remind you about your picks, because you can go straight to Super Brew from our website by clicking on any of the images that link through to our pool. That first Super Brew image, as well as the words there, the Loving Life pool name. Simply click there and you'll go to the pool. So that's how easy it is. As long as you registered and logged in there at Super Brew, that's where you'll make your predictions.
And I have to tell everybody watching, it only takes 5 minutes to actually put your predictions in. So it's very quick. And you get an email reminder when the new competition's coming up. It's really cool. But Fiona Tim says, I love looking at players' backsides close up. And then she says, oops, did I say that out loud?
Can I say something, Scott?
Please do. Go ahead.
I never watched rugby.
Yeah.
Until I started watching Percy Montgomery's backside.
Ah! Mark, did she really say that out loud in front of you?
She got a nice poster of him and everything. And I said, what is this? So anyway, so when Percy went, what was that referee? Mark something.
Mark.
Yeah, so one of the referees. And he will stand there and she will say, woo, that beats Percy. I said, what do you mean beats Percy? He's the ref. He said, no, look at that backside. Right. Since then, she's been watching rugby. I can't keep her away.
I thought men were bad.
I agree with Fiona. That's what we do.
All right, guys, I'm going to invite others into the discussion now, and we'll start talking about the 1970s. And here we go. Okay, so I'll start with Fiona. And if I forget someone, please just yelp in the side chat, and I'll get you on. There's Fiona's coming in to join us now. I'm just going to change this to grid view so that we can see everybody who comes on. And then I've got Moslin to join. Let me just join Moslin. There we go. Hi, Fiona.
Hello, Scotty.
How are you? You haven't got
good, thank you.
you haven't got your
I'm putting
camera
my
on. Oh,
camera-
now you have. Oh,
Here we
there's
go.
Muslin.
Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go.
Fantastic. There's the white Zulu. And there's Muslin. Hi, Muslin. How are you? Oh, you've gone
I'm
off.
fine.
Oh, yes, there I am. Gotcha. It's moving into focus.
Muslin, you disappeared again. Now, guys, as we add more people, please remember when you're not actually talking to have your audio either switch very low or off. And then when you want to talk, just turn it on again. Otherwise, especially if there are people nearby you, we're going to have a huge amount of background noise. Now, I've also got to invite, let me see. I think that's it. I think that's it. Is there someone I left off? Please tell me in the side chat, guys, if you... Charlotte was supposed to be joining me, but she says she's too young, like Nat. All these ladies that say they're too young, really. Now, Muslin, once we can see your image, we did see you for a second there. We'll kick off our discussion, and please, guys, again, if you want to join us at any time in the discussion, there you are. Now I see you. Okay, perfect. All right, now I'll just go around the room. On the bottom right, we have Muslin. Next to Muslin on the left, we have beautiful Fee, our white Zulu, with her famous hat. And then we have, of course, Mark at the top above Fee, and then, of course, Rudy above Muslin. So that's who we have in the room at the moment. All right, I'm going to go around the room. Let's start with Mark. Mark, tell us what you did in pre-1976 in South Africa to keep yourself entertained, seeing there was no television.
Yeah, I think the important thing that I can remember, especially as a kid growing up, was that we spent a lot of time outside. You know, I had a bicycle. I had a couple of bicycles because I sort of I like to just go take my bike. It's like it gives you that freedom. You can go anywhere. You can, you know, and I was always on the bike somewhere, going to my friends and so on. Always in the street somewhere. If I wasn't doing that, because I'm the only child, shame. I had to play. Sometimes I had to make my own games, you know. So I would be outside in the garden. I was playing. I was burning some ants with the you know, remember that story with the sun? Yeah, it's bad. But anyway, so I was doing all of those things, and I was playing outside, and I entertained myself. And I think what I found, if I can take a sort of the whole thing right through, what it taught me is that your mind, your own imagination is much better than anything they can put on TV or they can put on movies or anything, because you have an imagination here, and we sort of lose with these days we're watching all of the stuff, we lose the ability to use our imagination.
Freedom of thought. Freedom
of thought, and just being able to think, you know, think all these things, because I created wonderful games, and I was happy with this thing, and we had a great time outside.
Yeah,
and it was just like I think some of that is now taken away because we just sit in front of a TV and watch TV and watch some guy from Australia's show and so on.
Cell phones or something like that. Oh, thank you very much.
Now, and I thought something I will never forget is the radio shows, because you know, talking about imagination. Now, what was it? Filet of the Slayers, and I don't know what the Kransful or the whatever.
What about on?
I don't know what stuff else.
What about Radio 702 with No Place to Hide? Remember that with Mark Saxon?
Yeah.
That was
and the squad cars. I don't know if anybody knows squad cars.
Yeah.
Only some people will know squad cars because that's a special show, and the Three Wise Men and so on. So, well, but we would sit in front of a radio and we would listen to this, and you would imagine all this stuff happening. It's amazing what your mind can do. But these days we sit and watch things, and I think that's one of the reasons why also we are all this mainstream media of things that they push to us that affects us badly.
Yeah.
So I think it was better that time, having less of this mainstream in our face.
Yeah. No, well, the propaganda, I call it propaganda, because the fake news. But no, Rudy, what about you?
Yes, Scott, I also remember the radio, and the evenings was family time. We used to sit in winter in front of the kachel, with the fire going and listen to the news. My dad had to listen to the news at night. And then in the afternoons on Springbok Radio, there were all sorts of stories. And Mark was talking about squad cars, but we also listened to the Afrikaans stories like Staal Burger and things like that. But in the evenings, it was family time, not square eyes in front of the TV, nobody talking to one another. And lately, if you're not watching TV on the phone with WhatsApp and so on. So I think it was much more a time of a family-oriented time, and we can be so glad that we grew up in that era because we were much more free. We had much closer family bonds and so on. And in the day, like Mark said, it was Pylenboog, Ketty, fiets, and off you went into the veld. And of course, like I've already said on previous live streams, we got up to all sorts of naughty things in the veld.
I remember that, yeah.
And so on, and at home as well. At home, doing all sorts of things, building chlorine bombs and playing with our dinky toy cars and whatever, But we had a ball, if I could wish anything for today's youth, it would be that they can have something like we had, So I wouldn't mind if TV went out and we went back to family values and to kids actually playing outside and using their imagination. So yeah, that was wonderful up until 1976. But we'll get to the TV era and how it started a bit later and so on. But even when TV started, it was so limited that we still did that.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Muslin? Tell us about your memories of pre-1976.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the 60s when I was still a young boy going to primary school.
Are you the old fart in the room? Are you over 66?
I'm 64.
No.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Fee is.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's Fartet, isn't it?
S.
Fartet.
Countess.
Yeah,
Fartet.
I'm quite old part.
So back to you, Muslin.
Anyway. And I still remember playing, I was fortunate that we had a big garden. And I tell you one thing, in our younger days, we always had crowds of boys coming to play soccer on our front lawn. So there was always something on the go there playing.
Yeah.
And we also used to play, remember the old clay lot?
Yes.
We used to play, thing, and we used to whip each other with that. And of course, I used to live right in the center of Randburg, and Nagari was still a veld to us, and we used to go running in any direction in Nagari before it became built up. In the late 60s, it started building up, and of course, in the 70s, I started going to high school. The soccer continued, but we were still driving around in our bicycles. And it was a day of exploring and great fun, and I still remember the times when you could get, a huge pack of fish and chips, for a whole group of guys, for something like 50 cents, you could get fish and chips We'd all pile into a circle in the middle of the garden, and we'd be eating fish strips, talking, telling jokes, and whatever. And it was great fun. It was good old days. And then, of course, in the evenings when everybody went home, we had to do our homework, and the radio was playing in the back. Tuned into Springbok radio, listening to the men from the ministry.
Oh,
and
yes, I remember them.
Mark Saxon, Scott Cars, and there were so many programs. But there is a streaming channel on the internet, springbokradio.com, where you can listen to the old programs.
Oh, wow.
Yes, there are two channels. There is the Springbok Radio internet channel, and then there is Springbok Radio, which is transmitted from the SABC, but they've got all the old programs on it, going back even to the early 60s.
Wow.
Which still listen into. But, it was a case, where, you got dirty when you were young. There was nothing of this.
You mixed with
stuff.
nature.
You did, and you came home. When you came home, you had a nice big bruise somewhere.
And grazed knees from falling off your bike.
Yeah, and a few black eyes here and there. When we had but it was, it was a ball. It was a totally different lifestyle of what we have today. And yes, but as I was saying, it's nice to see a couple of the gang there. Fiona, nice seeing you.
Thank
Rudy.
you. Good to see you too.
Now, Fiona, let me ask you about, now this is going to be interesting. I mean, we know Fiona was a naughty young lady. Tell us about your times pre-1976. What did you get up to?
Well, as a kid...
Don't talk about what happened in the garden shed. Tell us about other things.
What garden shed? It was a chalet in Switzerland.
Okay. Oh, I'm so posh. Over to you, Fee.
I had the best childhood because my parents didn't believe in sending children to school. We were just a damn nuisance. They wanted sons, they got 4 daughters. So they bunged my 2 older sisters off to boarding school at St. Anne's, and they kept me and my little sister behind. And I didn't go to school till I was 12, which was fine. We had, my father played polo, so he had 6 polo ponies. We each had our own pony. And so we rode all day.
What an amazing life.
We had 5,000 acres in this beautiful paradise of where the Umgeni River rises on the escarpment, in the foothills of the Drakensberg. Lots of natural bush. Lots of leopards in the bush. But I mean, we didn't care riding, through the bush if a leopard was around. There were enough baboons for them to eat. And we used to hear them pulling the baboons out of the tree at night, all the shrieking and carrying on. And if we had guests staying, oh, Scott, I must tell you this. You know your tree, the one on the edge of the Ngorongoro
crater? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you know it's full of tree dassies called the tree hyrax?
Okay.
Because have you ever heard the noise they make? Has anyone ever heard?
Yes, I have, yeah.
It's the most blood-curdling scream.
I'm just showing that tree on the screen right now. People can see it, yeah. Please carry on, Fee.
That tree, at night time, and I asked the guides to shine the torch up, and it was packed full of these tree dassies. And I said, how do they manage with your guests in their tents just underneath this tree? Because it wasn't far from the camp. It was right in the front. And the noise they make, because we used to have guests come up from the town, and they'd come to breakfast ashen-faced, saying, who got murdered last night? Let's start with this. And then I can't reproduce that scream because it'll wake the whole building. But scream, and it carried across the valley. Then we had the troop of baboons. We had a troop of 80 baboons, which were there, of course, long before my great-grandfather bought the place. And we had leopards. So every night when they got hungry, the leopards would just jump up a tree and grab a baboon out. And the noise, the caterwauling, the screaming, the howling, baboons can make.
Yeah.
So that was our nightly. And then the drumming of the drums, the beating of the drums at the
the
kraal.
African drums.
So that was my sort of lullaby, was screaming baboons being murdered, screaming dassies sounding like they were being murdered, to the under sort of tone of the backbeat of the drums.
Wow.
And that was just the night. First thing in the morning, we had a curfew. The parents said, out the house, only come in if it's raining or it's dark, because otherwise the leopards will eat you, which was pretty possible. And so I'd run off with the umfans, and I had dinky toys, and I used to take my dinky toys up to the kraal, and we'd share them out. I'd share them out, so we each had one. Then we'd go down to the workshop, and then one of them would climb underneath the jeep and put a bit of axle grease on, amafuta, to make their dinky cars go better. In fact, they were just covered in black axle grease. So were we. And we'd play with dinky cars, and then we also used to go down to the river, and they knew the best mud to make clay oxen. And we got those 3-hook doorings, those
the thorn
sharp
trees.
things.
Yeah.
They'll puncture a tractor tire, those things.
Yeah.
And we stuck those into our clay oxen that made the
horns.
The horns. And then we'd leave them on the rocks to dry, and then jump in the river in our shorts and shirts, have a swim or splash each other. Or another good game was to throw a stone quite near somebody and splash them from head to foot. And then, usually it was my little sister, because she never learned. She'd always be standing on a boulder near a deep pool, and I couldn't resist it. I'd get a big rock and I'd toss it in, and she'd get showered, and then she'd chase me, but I could run faster. But if she did catch me, it was a drag-down knockout fight, that one.
It sounds like a really tough family. But look, weren't those fantastic times, guys? I mean, I always say that we had the best of all worlds, because, we had a very civilized way of life. We weren't living in the 1800s. Families worked. They stuck together. And, we had this bond, this friendship. And we didn't have distractions like cell phones, and which are continually ringing with text messages and stuff like that. I see people today at a restaurant, and you got a couple, and they'll both be on their cell phones, and they won't be talking to each other. And I think, how does that work?
Shocking bad manners as well.
Absolutely. Now, okay, Mark, I'm going to go back to you again. What are your favorite bands from the 1970s and 1960s?
Ooh, I'm probably going to upset people, but I actually had my favorite band was Meatloaf. I don't know if any of you know Meatloaf. That was my favorite, and I would like listen that and Jim Steinman. And then really at the end of the day, I went for a lot of commercial music, but I bought the Springbok hits, because that was a lot of hits on one LP.
And they had Springbok Hits 1, Springbok Hits 2, Springbok Hits 3, and so on.
Oh, yes, I had all of them.
I had all of them.
I loved the ladies on the cover.
Yeah.
And the music on there was also great.
Yeah.
It was just
Well, I have a confession to make when it comes to record covers. There was a record cover that I bought because the woman on the record cover was so darn sexy. I never listened to the record, but I was about 17 at the time, so she was in this tight gold. You know how Fee talks about this little black number with a split right up to the thigh. She was in a little gold number, which was just like that. So when Fee describes it, my mind goes straight back to that record cover. I've still got it here somewhere. I'll have to drag it out.
You've got to show us.
I've forgotten what the LP was about, but I never listened to it.
Didn't
I just
matter.
bought it because of it. That's how desperate we were in South Africa.
Yeah, everything was banned.
Everything was banned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything you play backwards was from the devil. You could hear the devil or something.
Yeah.
Remember
Especially
that?
the Beatles.
I could never find one of those players that goes backward. But they said if you find one of those players, you could do that. Well, because especially Slate, I don't know if you know Slate, but Slate Live, there's a band. I listened to that as well a lot. And there was a bit rough music. But other than that, just all the normal commercial music, yeah.
Now, what about you, Rudy? What sort of music did you like?
Look, Scott, I'm a bit younger than all you old farts here. So I was, before 1976, I was 11, 10 and younger. So it wasn't my music era yet. But my first sort of serious music that I listened to in 1976 and 77, late teens at primary school still was ABBA. And then, of course, I seriously got into Pink Floyd and, the classic bands like that. Before I had music sense, I listened to what my dad and them listened to. My dad was a big fan of the old big brass bands, Satchmo, the Glenn Miller Band and those things. So, I had to do and listen to what the parents liked. And up to this day, I still like that type of music. Now in my older age, I've got a renewed appreciation for what my dad liked. My dad and my mom liked and so on. But before 76, I was still too young to have my own music taste.
Yeah. Wow. Now, Moslin, I see that you've got a drone there, and I've actually ordered a drone, and it hasn't arrived yet. But I'm going to be doing some videos with my drone from looking down. I love drones. How easy are they to fly?
Look, they are a bit difficult to get used to in the beginning, but it takes a while for you to get into the hang of it. What you just saw now was the Mavic 2 Zoom.
Yeah.
Which has got the zoom lens on it, which I think I sent one video clip from this little one from you. I also have the Phantom 2 Pro, which is the big one. And that big one gave me 25 stitches in my arm.
Wow.
Caught it,
from the blade?
Tumbling down. Yeah, from the blade. I went into a tree and I caught it tumbling down. And 25 stitches later, I had arm full of stitches.
Wow. Now tell us about your memories with the music back then.
I've got a very, very broad spectrum of music. I went I went from the old brass bands, like Glenn Miller, Nat King Cole, Bert Kaempfert, Montavani, and then I went through into the rock music. And, I was at the age when the Beatles started coming onto the circuit. Rolling Stones, and the Honeycombs, and all the 60s groups. I was fortunate that I was able to listen to that. And, I also listened to the classics, Mozart and Beethoven, and I've got a very, very broad spectrum of music, which I enjoy. But I would say that most of the general things like Meatloaf is is a singer. He's a singer with the name of Meatloaf. And I would say that there were a couple of very, very good artists in my day. That it's just, I'm just sort of having a blank moment now at the moment where I just can't remember all the names, but the music was brilliant in those days. And I was just fortunate that I grew up when pop music really came on a big circuit. I mean, look, Chubby Checker, these all the old rock and roll
Frank
music,
Sinatra.
Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, yes.
Tom Jones.
And yes, Tom Jones, he was a brilliant singer. And then there was Engelbert Humperdinck, which I also listened to. And but old Engelbert Humperdinck has seemed to have gone off. You don't hear much of him anymore, but Tom Jones is still out there.
Yeah.
How about Julio Iglesias?
He was good. He was a workaholic, Julius Iglesias, and his son also became a singer, Enrico Iglesias.
Yeah, he sang a couple of great songs, like Hero.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and I know about him. Yes, also very, very good singer. But I think old Julio was with all his love songs. I mean, look, he was a great singer. Most of his songs.
You said he was a workaholic. How did he have time to be a workaholic? Because he was always bragging about all the women that he had dated.
Well, I think that between the music and the women, I think he was a very, very busy man. I'll say that.
Now, Fee, what do you say about that? What did you think of Julio Iglesias?
Yes. Okay. But we had a problem because, first of all, Dad would only listen to 2 radio stations. And one was at lunchtime. We'd listen to the beef prices on the stock market, on the market. I don't know, it was very boring. We'd have the radio when transistor radios came, and he'd have the radio on the dining room table. We had a long dining room table, and we'd all have to sit there and shut up while he listened to the meat prices, because of course he farmed cattle and sheep. And then in the evening, we also had our couple of hours. Well, only very little, not hours, but about half an hour, in front of a great big fire. Now it was really high up. We were 6,000 feet up. So even on Christmas Eve, it was cold and we'd had to light a fire. And we had frost. Every month of the year we'd get frost.
Wow.
And then snow, lots of snow, deep snow. But he would sit there and he'd listen to the BBC World Service.
Oh, wow. That was fantastic.
Yeah, well, not if you're 3 or 4 or
yeah,
14.
When you're in your teens, it was great to hear what was happening around the world.
But our problem was, I'll just carry on quickly.
Yeah, carry on.
Was that our valley is so deep, we still can't get a cell phone signal. You've got to drive or walk up to what we call the polo ground to get a signal. And we could only get shortwave and medium wave. Now, medium wave got LM radio.
Oh.
And who doesn't remember LM radio?
Oh, yes. The music station.
And the DJs were so funny.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them thought he was off air, and he said something, I've got such a hangover. But he put the word in. And we thought it was hilarious because he didn't press the cough button or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were very entertaining, and they played lovely music, all the stuff that was banned.
Yeah.
And one of the really funny things is that Diana Ross, the government didn't know that she was black. So all her records came, and my sister, our surname is Ross. My sister was Diana, so she was Diana Ross too. Anyway, I can only remember going back to the creaking door. Do you remember that one? Because, of course, we weren't allowed to listen to any Afrikaans, anything.
Yeah.
My father hated them with a passion. Don't know why. He married a Boer's granddaughter. But anything Afrikaans, And then the Beatles came and weren't allowed to play that in the house either. So it's only when I got to school at 13 that I heard these records.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, well, I've got a very eclectic taste as well. And I loved disco. Oh, Saturday Night Fever.
I can just see you dancing on the tables.
I did. I danced till my feet hurt. All those songs, the Bee Gees.
Oh, lovely.
Oh God, who were they? The Brothers, another bunch who sang falsetto. But that was my kind of music.
Yeah. I remember one particular song. I was at Cornwallis. I must have been about 7 years old, I guess. And the song was called If I Was a Carpenter.
That's right.
And it was banned in South Africa.
Why?
It was banned because in the song he says, "Would you have my baby?" And they banned the song. That's how verkrampt it was. I mean, it was crazy.
It was verkrampt.
Yeah, and the band I enjoyed the most was the Moody Blues. You know,
they were good.
Graham Edge, Justin Hayworth, the four of them. They were fantastic, absolutely amazing. I used to put these LPs on my record player, and I would play them as loud as I could, trying to catch the attention of the young schoolgirls walking past, because I just left school and we were quite close to the school, and of course they would sort of...
Which school?
I went to Michael House, but...
I know you did.
Yeah, but this is at Greytown High School.
Okay.
Because I was in Voortrekker Street, and the school was right at the top of this big hill. And the girls in their little school uniforms would walk right past our house on their way back into town. So I would have this LP playing really loud, you know, sort of saying, "I'm here. There's a young man here. Look here."
Did it work?
No.
You couldn't lure even one girl into your lair.
Well, I actually lured a neighbor's daughter into my lair, and
tell us more.
that was actually those were fun times. We used to go skinny dipping in the Greytown pool. The fence was only about 8 foot high, so it was quite easy to scale over. And you know, we'd strip down to our underwear and we'd just jump in the pool and have a swim around.
That's not skinny dipping.
Well, it was pretty close. We were pretty conservative.
We did go skinny dipping. I had a boyfriend who had an aunt who had a lovely big mansion on the Berea, and she lived in the top of a terraced garden because the Berea is quite steep, and on the top terrace she had a house in, and another terrace with a tennis court. The bottom terrace had a huge swimming pool.
Wow.
We used to climb over the fence. We'd pack 6 of us into the car, and then we'd slide into the pool and swim, and then lie on our backs floating, watching the Southern Cross.
Naked?
Of course.
I bet you the overhanging houses around, there were a lot of binoculars.
We would chip still, and it was very dark. I'm not that loose.
Okay.
But it was.
Now, going back to you, Mark, what is your strongest memories from those days? I mean, just something that stands out to you that happened in those your teenage years or younger years. What's something that really stands out that happened to you, or maybe even a world event that you remember that happened while you were very young?
Yeah, I don't think a world event as such. I think I don't know how many people had an experience to take the train from Pretoria down to well, we went up to the Hendrik Verwoerd Dam, which is now the Gerib. So we had a house there. So we would stop over at Korsberg and just from there go and because my father didn't have a car for a while, so we had to take the train down. Now the experience taking the train is something that you can't explain to anybody.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, we were the family in that, and then we also had the dog. Now the dog wasn't supposed to go with. You weren't allowed to take a dog. So there was all this little story when the conductor knocks on the door, we have to hide the dog quickly and whatever. But the whole experience of going there, going fishing in the Hendrik Verwoerd Dam, with the dog, and just that experience of being outside, there was no distractions, there was no cell phones, there was none of that nonsense. It was just me, my fishing rod, and the dog, and there we go, and then go and fish. I think that's what I miss mostly. So that's a memory that I would like. That's something I would like to have back, if that's all possible.
But you know what, Mark, we still have those memories, which is so precious, because kids today, especially if they're in the city, they never have those memories. They've missed out on a huge part of the life that we enjoyed. Rudy, what about you?
Yeah, I think I must relay a couple of my not so naughty moments, because there's plenty of naughty ones. But what I specifically remember when I was small is come Christmas time, we had a farmer not far from where we stayed, a guy by the name of Koos Small. Now I grew up in Eldorraine, Verwoerdburg, which is now Centurion, and we were the 15th house in the whole of Eldorraine, and that whole area is now so built up, so there's no more veld and farms and whatever. But literally a kilometer or so from us, the farm started, and Koos Small was this old woman who had a donkey cart, and he used to dress up as Father Christmas, and all the, he would drive through the streets, and all us young kids would climb on the donkey cart and ride with him for a while, and there would be a massive Christmas bash on his farm, and everybody, mom and dad and all the friends' moms and dads and whatever, we had this massive Christmas bash each year on Koos Small's farm, and then he would dish out the presents to the kids and whatever. It was a marvelous time. So that was one of the not so naughty bits and pieces. The other naughty bit was we used to set the veld alight so that the fire truck would come so that we could ride on the back of it, and things like that. And
good way of taxpayers' money.
Yeah, blame it on our neighbor, who was a very difficult old woman, and because he stayed right next to the veld, so we used to set it alight and blame him. Things like that. But yeah, it was a wonderful time.
Well, we've been chatting away. Love is in the air in the side chat, apparently. Michelle Mullard writes, there is love in the air here in the side chat. Garnet and Nicolene are sitting in a tree. And I've just checked out the side chat, and wow, it's getting hot and heavy there. But anyway, this is why we call the Loving Life channel sometimes a dating channel, because so many people have actually met on the side chat on Loving Life. Now, Moslin, tell us about your most strident memory from the past, pre-76. Tell us about that.
Oh, I can tell you one thing. There's so many. I tell you one thing. Of the worldwide events, there was JFK assassination, Witt being assassinated, man landing on the moon, 69. I was a young boy then. And then, of course, also playing at home, amongst school friends. And then, of course, in 76, I went into national service. And then the Soweto riots broke out right in the middle of my national service. So it was a pretty tough time for me as well, at that time. But I would say that in my memory times, the good fond memories that I was my military. And there's a particular commando unit on the East Rand, Alberton Commando, that myself and another chap, I won't name him, but when the two of us got together, I can tell you one thing, they knew that these two were going to up to something. And Fee, we're talking about your skinny dipping. Now, this particular company, I think it was called, they had a huge heated pool. And of course, I was the only one that didn't bring a costume. And then, of course, the regimental sergeant said, get into the pool. And I said, I don't have a costume. He says, come in your underpants. And I said, no, to hell with this. And next minute, everything was off and I went skinny dipping. And I just remember everybody swimming away. Ice cold.
Yeah. Now, okay, Fiona, look, I'm sure we'd be here for about 24 hours if we went through all of your memories. But give us a couple of memories that you have from the past. And before you do, I should tell everybody that your farm was within spitting distance of the boarding school I went to called Michael House. And you and I both used to visit Nottingham Road. I used to do it from the east side, and you did it, I think, from the southwest side. And what a funny little town that was, wasn't it? I mean, it was just like a one-pub town. But please, back to you, Fee.
We didn't even have a chemist.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
One of the most romantic things that ever happened to me was that a British destroyer came into Durban Harbour, into port for about a week. And at that stage, I was back from Switzerland. I just turned 19 and was living in a sort of YWCA, but a smart upmarket one called Nora House, Natal Anglican Women's Residential Association, otherwise known by the boys as Horror House. But we'll bypass that. But they asked the lady warden if some of the girls would like to come to a ball they were holding on the ship.
Wow.
Well, of course, we all said yes.
Mm.
We got dressed up in long dresses. We put flowers in our hair. We did our hair. Those who had long hair did it up with Grecian curls. We looked smashing. And they sent a coach to fetch us, dropped us off at the ship. And the officers who were holding the ball had turned the flight deck into a great big ballroom-like dance floor, and then put fairy lights, all different colors, red, yellow, green,
Wow.
orange, purple, every color you can think of, strung them all over the ship's, over the flight deck, and then they'd put a tarpaulin over. And the officers were all in their whites, and they all, it's almost bowed and escorted us girls on board. The ratio was about, with the officers, 200 men to about 17 girls, possibly less.
Wow.
So we had our pick. But they put on music and we danced on the deck. Then they took the tarpaulin off because it was a full moon. And they rolled that back, or rather the ratings did. And so we were dancing under the moon on this ship, this great, big, beautiful battleship. But then the sailors, the officers who said, the one who was dancing, one of the men I was dancing with said, have you ever heard of the Golden Rivet? So how many of you guys have been in the Navy?
No.
Nah. Anybody in the side chat?
Anyone been in the Navy in the side chat? Yeah. Please.
You know what the Golden Rivet is then? But obviously you don't. Right. He said, when they build a ship, the first rivet that's put in is a gold one. And when we have visitors on board, like yourself and the other girls,
oh, here we go.
We'll show you.
And it's probably
We'll
down
show
in
you
the
golden
somewhere.
rivet.
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
We'll show you. Of course. We fell for this hook, line, and sinker. Where was this rivet? Well, just happened to be above the bunk of the officer. And so, as I twigged, and it took me ages to catch on that this was a trick, we all scampered out of the various officers' quarters, all giggling, because all of us had been talked into coming to see the golden rivet. And if you mention the golden rivet now to anybody who's been in the Navy and in Britain, certainly, don't know about South Africa, but they'll just pack up laughing, because it was the one way they could get a girl into their bunks. But it was very romantic. It was a beautiful evening. We were treated like princesses.
Wow.
We had a buffet second to none, and they pulled out all the stops for us. And it was really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. I don't think I won't ever have that again, but I put it in my book.
Yeah, wow, fantastic. Well, I remember when I traveled to Rhodesia in 1975, and I went on this 7-day tour. You know, you flew from Salisbury to Kariba, then from Kariba you went to Victoria Falls, and it was like that sort of thing. But on my first night in Rhodesia, it was a Saturday night, and it was about 8 p.m. at night, and I was staying at the Monomatapa Hotel, and I asked the concierge, I said, are there any nightclubs here in Salisbury? And, you know, I knew very little about Rhodesia. And he said, yes, there's one just around the corner. You know, you go about 100 yards and you go down some stairs, you'll see a big sign, nightclub, go in there. It's a very popular little place. So I went in there and I walked down the stairs. Now, remember, I'd been at an all-boys boarding school all of my life, so I was actually quite a shy guy when it came to ladies, because they were like a foreign species, because I hadn't had much interaction with them as a young man. Anyway, I walked into this nightclub, and you could have blown me over with a feather. There were about 200 people in this nightclub, most of them dancing. They were all women. Every single one. I was the only guy. When I walked in that room, it was like, there's a man! There's a man! I didn't have to ask anyone for a dance. They were all grabbing me and saying, come and dance, come and dance. Oh, what a night that was. I mean, really. Absolutely amazing. Wow. Now, okay, we kind of got onto the romantic side. So, Mark, tell us about the most romantic experience you had in those early days when you were a teenager, perhaps your first girlfriend or whatever. And I know that Mel is sitting next to you, so I know you might have to be careful what you say.
I have to censor.
You have to censor, yeah. Like YouTube do. Yeah. Whoa, what happened there?
You said the word.
I've got a TV screen. Someone shared a TV screen.
We've all got one.
That's Rudy.
Rudy is bedtime.
Mark, over to you.
Yeah, I think also, yeah, this is actually also when we went to the Hendrik Verwoerd Dam, the Gariep Dam, and at that stage I didn't have a girlfriend, and I was just about to go to the army the next year. So I was it was my last holiday before the army, and I met a girl there. A very nice girl, but she was like 3 years younger than me. But at that stage, I didn't mind. We would just chat a lot, and you know what? Just holding hands was a big thing at that time for me. You know, it wasn't all of the stuff that we have today. So that was a big thing already,
You
know.
didn't get to third base, is what you're saying.
What is really
Yeah.
giggling about?
But just having that kind of relationship, we would go out to the swimming pool. There was a swimming pool at in a little town that was close to that, and we would go out to dance in Norrvanspoort, a place close to the dam. And it was like this one week. It was just a week holiday, sort of. But so many things happened that you can't get that ever back. It just happened once, and it has happened at that time before I went to the army, like I said. And then I went to the army and I wrote to her and everything, and it was 6 months later, we got a pass. I was in Bloemfontein, so we got a pass, and I said, well, she lived in Philipstown, so something like that. And I could drive there, and we again, that was a weekend that you can't get over again. So some of these things, it's just a memory long time ago when you were a kid. You weren't you didn't know all of this other stuff, and you weren't exposed to all of this other stuff, and it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. So it's the age of the innocence, if I can put it that way.
Yeah,
it was a very different that time. Okay, you were naughty. I mean, yeah, of course you were. But I'm just saying, I'm not looking at Rudy when I say that. But I'm just saying that it was different. It was very different from what we have today. So yeah, I'm very pleased to have that kind of memories.
You know what that reminds me of was that classic old movie Melody Fair, or no, it's called Melody. And in that, has anyone here seen that movie Melody? Came out in the 1960s. Nobody. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. If you can find it online, go and watch it. It's actually about two little kids that meet at school and fall in love, and it's that innocence, and it's a absolutely, and the music that they play is by the Bee Gees during the actual song. So it's and that song, Melody Fair, won't you comb your hair? Excuse my singing, but. That song was actually the song that they start off the whole movie with.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a great, great movie. Rudy, over to you. What's the most romantic thing? Well, okay. I'm just going to say nothing. Go
ahead. Okay, well, the most innocent romantic thing.
Innocent. Okay.
Must have been standard 4 or standard 5 then. Remember having my first biggest kiss in 1976 or 1977, age of 12 or so, on the bus, on the tour bus, on our tour and whatever. And since then, I've never been the same.
What about you, Muslin?
I remember Standard 5 in 1970, the farewell party for the Standard 5 pupils. And I remember a girl coming up to me very shyly. And of course, I was also very, very shy myself, and asking me for a dance. And I tell you, I still remember I was so very clumsy when it came to girls. And I used to step on her poor toes, the poor girl. And I don't think she's forgiven me till this day of I'm standing on her toes. But, it was, at that age, you're still very, very awkward, being 12 years old, 13 years old. And, you don't really think of girls at that age, but, the hormones are sort of starting to tickle, and, let's say that I had 5 thumbs on each hand when it came to girls in those days. But I would say that sort of basically broke the ice for me.
Wow. Well, it reminds me of that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, that clumsy game warden. The scene I love the most with that is where he's got this clapped out old vehicle and he's picked her up in, and he's opening the gate and he's going down the hill and he's throwing stones behind the wheel to stop it going. And this girl's freaking out, and then at one point he misses the wheel and she shoots off down this hill and she's screaming. But he was so clumsy. There's a scene of him where she's putting food on a table and he pulls everything off the table because he's just, and in one of his crazy little moments. Yeah, that's I can relate to that. I felt the same way, having spent 8 years at a boys-only boarding school. Yeah. Now, guys, we've been going for 90 minutes in this live stream, believe it or not, but time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to go around the room for one last little thought from each of you. What starting with Mark, what do you miss today when you consider the life we had? Or what do you think kids today are missing when you consider the lives that we had?
My personal opinion is the life today is actually very complicated for kids. There is just too much information that gets thrown at them through whatever media. It was much simpler in my times. Okay, yeah. There's a couple of things. It was much simpler in my times, and we weren't exposed to things like drugs or serious drugs and all these other things, these ugly things that you get. I mean, if you talk about porn, we got excited when we looked at the scope kind of thing. I don't know if anybody remember the scope.
I do remember the scope.
What I'm saying is it was very different. That it was more of it was more laid back, if I can put it that way. These days you are in stress all the time. You listen to that one, you listen to that one. Somebody says something on Facebook or whatever, and so you continue. You don't get. You get too much information and you don't get time to grow yourself. You know what I'm saying? The little people, when I was a kid. The kids today don't get time to be a kid. They just get rushed into stuff. So that's my final thought. Is that is sad. Can we change it? I'm not sure. Except if we become like the Amish, I'm not sure how to change that. But that's life.
Rudy?
Yeah, it's basically the same. The freedom, to be able as a little boy to be outside and in the veld and all over, and you were safe. The police did their job, the neighborhoods were safe, and whatever and so on. I pity the kids of today who can't even go and ride their bicycles in the street without adult supervision. It's a terrible shame that it has to be like that, that we're living in such an unsafe environment, that we're all living behind huge fences, electric gate motors and whatever. I remember we didn't have a fence in front of our yard. And it was open and nobody came to bother you because everything still worked. So I think that is the biggest thing that the kids of today are missing is because of this unsafe world of ours. But a very vivid memory that I have, I was naughty just now and I put that TV test pattern on your screens. Who remembers
I wondered what was going on.
The SABC test pattern that we had, and you had 2 hours in the afternoon of TV, and they would repeat those same 2 hours that night. One TV channel in the whole of South Africa, and in between those times, this is what you saw, the test pattern, and that was it. Or who remembers the SABC TV sign that used to be on TV and those things. That those are vivid memories that I remember so clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah, all that I can say is I I was very, very privileged as a youngster.
Yeah. Fee, what are you laughing at?
Where have you read that was we put on the test pattern?
What did you read?
I can't repeat it. Well, I can. It says, fuck off. Just dead straight.
I didn't see that.
I did. Only Rudy.
I didn't even see that. And now,
I did.
Muslin, tell us
Oh.
about your thoughts on how things have changed.
I'm going to second Mark in many cases. For me to have had the childhood that I had, to be free and to enjoy the open doors, at the outside areas, playing soccer, riding bicycle, going fishing, and generally getting genuine bruises and things, that was a great privilege for me. And, today's times, it's just too sophisticated and it's just too much information. And I would say that was a time that I really, really enjoyed. Up to the age of going up to high school. And I would say, for me, that was childhood that was a very, very healthy childhood. And, in many cases, I still remember the old milk cart coming in the mornings, on the electric buses, little vans that they had. And they used to come in, it was all, very, very carefree childhood, which I really enjoyed most of all.
Yeah. Yeah. Fee, what about you?
Oh, that's easy. Reading. That's all I ever did as a kid, because when you read, your imagination gets taken to places and situations that are absolutely magical. I read books, I read encyclopedias, I read dictionaries.
You read every book in the library there, didn't you?
I did. I read the library dry at St. Anne's and then started again.
Wow.
But using your imagination goes along with that. And the kids now don't seem to get a minute to themselves to reflect on anything or introspect. They're so bombarded. I found that when Facebook came, I got onto Facebook, and then there was this thing, and then there was that thing. And I realized these things were robbing me of precious time. So I haven't got rid of Facebook, but I never look at it, which is rather embarrassing, because my birthday's in January. And I look at it in June, and there are about 17 birthday greetings on there from school friends and other people.
Mm.
But I'm ridding myself and just narrowed it down. My life now is the Loving Life channel. I barely watch movies. I watch documentaries, particularly the Attenborough series, because they are so superb, and they're real and they're true. But kids, they don't watch that sort of stuff. They don't know what's around them.
Yeah.
They don't stop to smell the roses. It's so sad. And especially my grandchildren, they seem to have so many extracurricular activities that they don't get a chance to just play. As all of you have said, you played. You played with a stick and a bit of mud, and you played clay latter. And it was good enough for an afternoon's fun. You had enough of you could play soccer. These kids, they sit indoors or they're on their phones. I feel so sorry for them.
Yeah.
And I tell you something else that they don't do is any household chores. So what sort of... No, it's true. You're laughing. They treat their parents like servants, or mine do. They're very demanding. They don't get just presents on birthday or Christmas. They get presents whenever they go to the supermarket, appears to me. And the house is knee-deep in clutter of discarded presents. I mean, They'll play with something and just chuck it away. Attention span. It's gone.
I think you've just hit the nail on
I'm
the
just
head.
going on a rant here.
Yeah. I think the attention span of children today has completely been lost because they don't have those special moments where they can just consider and relax and think about what's happened during the day. Because as you say, they're always on the go. So the attention span has gone. It's pretty sad.
Gone.
Yeah. Now, guys, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, but just in summary, what we've talked about tonight for those who've just joined is Super Brew. I hope everybody here has joined the competition. There are 2 fantastic hampers that Mark is going to be sending to the winners, the top lady and the top fellow who gets the most points. So please get yourself registered on Super Brew on this Lions Springbok competition. And that starts on the 1st of July. And, well, after Super Brew, which, again, you can just go to the very start of this live stream and find out what it's all about. But now we've had 4 of the Loving Life family join us here, and it's always lovely to meet members of the Loving Life family. And I would encourage other people who are too shy. I know there are a lot of people here who are a bit shy about appearing on Skype. Come and join us. It's just a fun chat. That's all we do. Now, I'm going to, Rudy was the one who actually came up with this topic, pre-television, 1976, when we had our last family get-together. Now, seeing that Mark is actually donating these 2 hampers, I'm going to put the ball on his and Mel's court. What subject would you like to discuss when we have another, or the next Loving Life family chat, which will probably be in about 4 to 6 weeks from now? What are your thoughts? What sort of subject can we talk about?
No, I don't know. You give a chance.
Mel, what do you think?
How about where you met your husband or whatever?
That's a good one.
I mean, there's some funny moments.
Okay.
We've got a funny.
Okay. Maybe we talk about where you met your partner and memories about your relationship, and perhaps if the partner's there, they can come in and share the discussion as well. How's that sound?
Yeah, that could be fun.
Okay. All right. Well, let's work around that. Thank you so much, Mel. That's a great idea. All right, guys. Look, I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And for those who were too scared to come and Skype and join in, please come and join in. Just it's all fun. And if Michaela T's here, she and Jay Hart will definitely have to join us because they met through Loving Life on the side chat, and they're married now. And also, if what's his name, Sinette and Sinette and the fellow down in South Victoria, in Australia. This is ridiculous. I know this. Anyway, if they can join us as well, because these are 2 couples who actually met on Loving Life, and it's great when you hear these sort of things, because it's lovely that people have actually met through our channel. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up now. Have a great evening, and there we go. I've actually found the one that works. Thank you so much to our guests tonight. There they are, Mark, Rudy, Muslin, and Fiona.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye,
And you, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And I'll leave the side chat open for a couple of minutes so you guys can get on there and chat to people who've been on the side chat while we've been chatting. Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, guys. Take care and
Good night.
Bye-bye.
bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.